You are watching DHTV from California State University, Dominguez Hills.
Welcome back to Design Your Life. We're getting near the end of the course, and this week I want to talk about post-graduation opportunities that you might not be aware of. And once again, it's a wonderful reason to go to the Career Center, the Internship Center, to look at their website. You're going to learn a lot about opportunities that are available. And I'm going to stress some that my students have taken advantage of that have deeply, thoroughly enriched their lives. So I'm going to turn to my PowerPoint and introduce some. Once again, feel free to stop by or write me with specific interests and questions. There are many, many more than the ones I'm introducing this week. Okay, let me turn to my PowerPoint, post-graduation opportunities. Now, I'm assuming that you are an undergraduate graduating with some of this, but some of these opportunities also apply if you are a graduate student graduating who've had a long, stellar career. So hopefully this will serve everybody. Fulbright has been really good to me. I have had 4 Fulbright awards, including their highest award, the Distinguished Chair. And because of their awards, I've had all expense paid, travel and living expenses to several countries, parts of the world. And I've been able to teach in those countries, lecture, help faculty, university design programs. I've met mediators around the world. I'm really grateful for Fulbright. And if you Google Fulbright, you will see all the opportunities available to you. Now, they give out the most awards to graduating undergrads. You can get an award to teach English in another country, all expenses paid for 2 years, and one of my students has done that in Macau. And she actually will probably talk to you. It's highly competitive to get a Fulbright. You're going to be competing with all the Ivy Leagues. But teaching English is not quite as competitive as some of the other awards. And she just had a wonderful time. She hung out with other Fulbright undergrads in Macau. I can connect you with Caitlin. You can also propose a research study. And I had an undergraduate at UC Berkeley who proposed doing research in Albania during the Balkans War. Incredible. He has a lifelong connection now with Albania, the country where Mother Teresa was born, and he went on to become a professor of history. I had another student who was Filipino who decided she was in a wheelchair. She had been born with a disability that confined her to a wheelchair, though she was on fire in her wheelchair. She decided to go to the Philippines and do research on how they were accommodating people in wheelchairs and people with other disabilities. And frankly, the Philippines was atrocious. They were doing nothing. People were isolated in their homes. She did really important work with the Catholic Church in the Philippines. So that's an example of proposing a research study. While I was in Cyprus on my first Fulbright, there were 2 students who were doing research on the conflict in Cyprus. And because I was a Fulbright, we had Fulbright gatherings, dinners, parties. I got to meet them. And by doing this research, they were building incredible resumes. They were both planning to go on to law school or PhD programs. They were building very strong applications for their future. The other opportunity, and this is also available to graduate students, is to apply to teach at another university around the world. And we have several faculty at Dominguez who have taught in the United Kingdom, Russia, Turkey, let's see, Nigeria. My Fulbright Distinguished Chair took me to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So we've got a network here at Dominguez that can help you if this is something you want to do. There's also a no, I'll describe this later. Okay, anyways, if you want to investigate and learn more, Google Fulbright. You'll see all the opportunities. Reach out to me. I'll introduce you to Caitlin, and we'll do what we can to support you. Now, Rotary and Fulbright are like the two top funders of international scholarships for undergraduates in the world. They're very much brother-sister programs. But Rotary focuses on peace scholars. And so if any of you want to study peace and conflict resolution, international studies, at a graduate program in Australia, Great Britain, Japan, Sweden, or Thailand, once again, it's very competitive. I'll need to talk to you about how you go about being nominated and vetted in this process, but they pay all expenses for you and your family for 2 years, this graduate program. And the network is very rich for anybody who wants an international internship to do international work. One of my students has been a Rotary Peace Scholar. He went to Thailand, which is a short-term program. You don't need to go to Thailand for 2 years. I think it's a month-long program. And he got to go there and meet other Rotary Peace Scholars from around the world, study peace and conflict resolution. I highly recommend this. I've mentioned the Peace Corps a couple of times. I have a student right now, one of our graduate students. I think she's in Nicaragua right now. My uncle taught math in Bolivia in the Peace Corps. This is a wonderful way to live in another country, do service, teach biology, teach health education, whatever, and build your graduate resume, build your resume for future work. All expenses paid. Yes, the Career Center, and we also have an Associate Dean of International Education in our College of Extended and International Education. Those of you on campus, the International Education Office is doing a number of study abroad events on campus in the next weeks. I was just looking at February and March gatherings and opportunities. My students have gone, expenses paid, to India, Morocco, Greece, and Turkey. And and one of them went on to a career in public health after spending a semester in southern India studying women's rights there. So lots and lots of possibilities wherever you are in your life career. For those of you who are graduating undergraduates, we need you in Washington, D.C. Oh my goodness, the politics right now are the ugliest I've ever seen. There are paid internships where you work for Congress people, senators. You really get invaluable experience. If you've never been to Washington, D.C., I highly recommend you visit. It is a center of power in this world. You can smell the power, breathe the power when you're there. It's also a fun city because it has so many colleges and universities. So it's a wonderful place just to hang out, go to restaurants, and get a sense of the history of this country. The UN is New York City. I'm not as much a fan of New York City. I much prefer Los Angeles, personally, some of the other major cities of the world, but you can get an internship with the UN. Again, it's very competitive, so you need to plan ahead. You need to really build strong resume experience. Those are opportunities for you to explore and look forward to. I hope you will. Have a wonderful week.